This podcast is being recorded and produced on Gadigal land.
We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this country and elders past, present.
We extend our respect to any First Nations, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
I'm Brittney Saunders.
And I'm Alright Hey, and this is High Scrollers, the podcast version of your favourite group chat.
If it's trending, going viral or has you gripped, we're talking about it.
Coming up on this episode, past the cheeseburger goes in my apron. Just heading to the toot, love. Go to the crew room, eat the cheeseburger. Robert Irwin, he's in the cafe and he's making a coffee. And I don't know whether it was the first time he was making a coffee, but he shocked the nation. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion have teamed up again to give us what they were calling and what the fans were calling WAP Part 2. Sorry.
Meanwhile, they're getting $5 for a text and people are sending at least 4 texts.
I know. The return on investment on me would have been through the roof, doll. I'm going to have to take a 5-minute break.
We have to go get a sausage roll.
I've got to go clean myself up. Oh, that sounds amazing.
You need to try it. It's really good.
I've never heard that ever in my life. Deal me in, doll. Let's go.
I've had a little bit of
Wait, should we say hello to each other?
Yeah. How are ya? It's been a while since I saw you. Doing this every Monday with you is making me realise just how fast the time is going.
Yeah.
Like, boom, we're back again.
And also the fact that before this we would see each other twice a year.
I know. We've gone from one extreme to the other.
I know. It's very exciting. But hi, how you going? How was your week?
Great. I've been in Queensland all week and now I'm back last night and here I am again in Sydney.
Yeah. And tell me what's new. You said you had something to say.
Yeah.
Just before we hit record, she's like, oh, I've got something great to talk about.
I've got something to say.
Okay.
We've got a bit of a hater.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
We've got a hater up for High Scrollers. Oh, I didn't know this. Hang on.
Guess who's giving me some constructive feedback? Who could it be in my life?
Oh, your nan.
No.
Or your mum.
Yeah.
Your mum.
Your mum.
What she said. Sharon, Shaz, what's going on?
She's been listening to our episodes.
Yeah.
And she's giving me feedback on each one.
Oh, good.
She's like, I listened to your second episode. They listened to it in the warehouse at work out loud. That's embarrassing.
Well, hang on. Sorry, I'll pause you there. So how many people are in their warehouse?
Yeah, it's wrong. They need to be listening to it individually.
Individually, please, on Spotify and Apple and everywhere else you get your
Shaz and the
podcasts.
warehouse crew, if you're listening to this episode, pause it right now and get your individual headphones on your own separate accounts. But anyway, Shaz said, second episode wasn't as funny as the first one. That was her feedback. And then today I was driving down here and I rang her and she goes, make sure you make it funny.
Oh, God.
The pressure's on.
The pressure is on.
Shazza.
I actually thought episode 2 was funnier in my opinion.
Well, Shazza knows best apparently. So
Yeah.
pressure's on. We've got to make this one funny for Shaz.
All right, we'll try and do that. Well, we need a name for our listeners. Last week we left everyone with the big challenge of finding a name for our listeners because we hate saying the word listeners. And we need something fun, we need something camp, and we need something gay, and we need something fabulous. And we put it to all of you to come up with a name for yourself. Now, we had lots of suggestions. Do you remember any of the ones that you had?
Someone suggested to me Cinnamon Scroll.
Yeah, Cinny Scrolls. I got
Cinny
Cinny
Scrolls. Yeah, I get it.
We got Munchkins because obviously my infamous Father the Yellow Big Man.
You've got to say it every episode.
Well,
there you go.
And that's what people said. People were like, it's also from the first episode. So if you weren't there, it's like if you know, you know. If you were there, you know. And if I call you Munchkins, but I don't know if I'm sold on that one. It's a good one though. Another good one was Brats because Brittney and Matt put together Brats.
Oh yeah, that's our like ship name.
Yeah, so like the Brats are listening to the podcast, but I thought
it doesn't really go with the theme.
Doesn't really go with the theme. We got HSPs, High Scroller Podcasters.
And Halal Snack Pack.
Halal Snack Packs. I didn't really get that one, but great effort. Poker Chips was a good one. I liked that, the Poker Chips, but I thought that was too on the nose. Do you know what I mean? So I think what we've settled on, settled on the
first one that we come up with.
We thought of, and we didn't even need your help at all, but it was a fun exercise for us all. It got our brains going
really
this week.
Did.
So we are officially crowning all our listeners the Scrollers.
And then we can say High Scrollers, which is the name of the podcast. It just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's easy to remember.
Yeah, and it's basic, and Sharon will probably hate it, but it is what it is. That's what we're going with. So together on 3, should we say hello?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, Scrollers.
Ew, that was disgusting.
I know. Let's never do that again.
I hated that. So I need to know, tell me about your dead tooth, please.
I need to show it to you, but you're really far away from
Can you come over and show me, please?
Okay.
Come over. Okay, so Brittney said on her Instagram story last night, if you haven't seen it, that she has a dead tooth and there's a tooth at the back of her mouth that's black and grey. Oh, no. Do I need an iPhone torch? Oh, shit. What the heck is that?
I know.
Oh, so what's happened there? Go back to your microphone and tell us the story.
I feel like that shocked you.
Yeah, well, it was like you've got normal teeth and then one's from the Haunted Mansion, like,
Halloween special. Yeah. I don't know what's happened. Okay, I'm really bad. When was the last time you went to the dentist, Matt?
I am so embarrassed to say, like 2009.
Yeah.
No, like in 2011.
So I don't even have a dentist. I'm sure you don't either.
Oh, wait, I went to the dentist like 2 months ago.
Just straight up lying.
Yeah, but before then, like literally high school.
Me too.
I don't have time, darling.
Yeah, so same. I haven't been in a really long time. And then you know how sometimes you get like a little sore gum? Like sometimes you just maybe didn't brush your teeth properly enough or whatever. You get like a little sore bit of your gums and you just brush your teeth and then it goes away.
Mm.
Well, I've had a bit of a sore gum and I've just been making sure I brush them really well. And then I just looked.
You've brushed it too hard, it's dead. You've killed your own tooth.
I know. And do you know what's fucked with teeth? You only have one chance.
So true.
Oh, but I think you can get like root canal. I don't know. I've heard bad things. I don't know what to do, but anyway.
So are you sorting it out or are you just chilling?
Well, I discovered this like on the weekend and then I had to come here today. So when I get home, like tomorrow, I'm going to have to call up a dentist and be like, help me.
Okay, you'll have to keep us updated next week.
Yeah, we'll do. And you never look at your back teeth. Like when do you ever look at your back teeth? Exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that it was happening.
Well, you've had an interesting week. I've had an interesting week. I did something for the first time yesterday, the first time ever in my life, actually.
What?
I peeled a carrot.
Fuck off.
I peeled a carrot. Yeah, I've never peeled a carrot before and then I shredded it. I've shredded carrots before, but I've
Just
never
with
peeled
the skin
them.
on, right.
Because I'm meal prepping at the moment,
Yeah.
cost of living, even Australia's biggest Amazon's trying to cut corners here. But I was meal prepping and I was putting some carrot in my mince and I was shredding it and I peeled it for the first time. So
How was it?
I don't know. It just felt weird. I was like, should I film this and make a video out of it? Like, Australia's biggest lemons on peeling a carrot.
Did
like,
you put it on your
I had to
story?
fire my chef because cost of living and I can't afford him anymore.
Yeah, it's a
So,
shame.
no, I didn't put it on my story. I decided to keep it for the podcast.
Right.
So, letting you all know here, I have officially peeled my first carrot ever, which I know is so relatable and everybody will know exactly how I feel because I think everyone remembers the moment that they peeled their first carrot. Do you?
No.
I'm just being a dickhead. Let's just get into this episode. Royal flush of the week, doll,
Are
please.
you doing sound effects now?
Well, yeah, no, I'm multi-talented, okay? Multi-talented, multifaceted. I can do literally anything, and we should know this by now. My royal flush of the week, I'll kick us off, is Darren the Baker on TikTok. Have you seen Darren the Baker?
No.
I am obsessed. His username is Here's Chucky. I've got no idea why, but he's a baker on TikTok, and every morning or every second morning, he makes like a baker's breakfast is what he calls it. And it's different every day.
Is it like he makes like a pie? Yes, okay, I have seen that.
Saying this.
Yeah.
I even did a duet to it the other day because I'm not kidding. I almost creamed my knickers when I was watching this video. Like as a fat person, it made me a little bit horny. So basically he's a baker and he wakes up and he makes a breakfast. I've got a video here. I'll take you through what he's making and I'll do like a visual little presentation for you. So he starts with a cheese and bacon scroll from the bakery. Cuts that open. He puts on some shredded cheese, mozzarella or tasty cheese. He then whacks that in the oven or the whatever and melts that cheese. So now he's got melted cheese on the cheese and bacon scroll. He then adds slices of bacon to the cheese with cheese and bacon scroll. Then a bit of sauce, looks like tomato, could be barbecue, I'm colorblind. Then a cheese and bacon pie goes on. Then 2 hash browns. Then a bit more sauce. And then do we do anything else? Nah, the lid goes on. And he cuts it in half, and I'm not even kidding. Like I get full body quivers. I can't even look at my screen right now that I'm watching this video.
You love food videos, don't you?
It will turn me on, seriously. So he's got cheese and bacon scroll with hash browns, bacon. I can't even speak. I'm actually so mesmerised.
You're lost for words.
Anyway, he does a different one all the time, and people now can request different combinations for him to do. So he did like a Father's Day one. Someone asked for a loaf of bread filled with cheese.
And he just makes these for himself, right? He doesn't sell them.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's just for him for breakfast. No, but then he's put a price on one saying $17. So maybe you can go in and get the Baker's Special. It says in his bio that he's in Shoalhaven, so we might have to do a high
to drive down there one day, down part. Isn't that like past Wollongong?
I don't know.
I'll tell you one combination that actually is really good and easy, and I don't know if you've ever tried it. Get a hot dog roll, like a long bread roll, cut it open, get a sausage roll, put the sausage roll inside the bread roll and then your sauce of choice. So just barbecue sauce. Literally, it's simple, but a sausage roll inside a bread roll is on another level.
We're going to have to take a 5-minute break.
We have to go get a sausage roll.
I'm going to go clean myself up. Oh, that sounds amazing.
You need to try it. It's really good.
I've never heard that ever in my life.
My mum showed me it when we were little.
Oh, Shazza, there you go.
Yeah.
She really is the star of this episode, isn't she?
Let's see how many times we can reference Shaz throughout this episode.
Bloody hell. Well, what's your royal flush of the week?
My favourite thing that's happened to me recently, Instagram has introduced this new feature. I think it's been out for a while, but you know how like Instagram comes out with things and then like not everyone gets it?
Yeah, they test it.
Yeah.
They see how it goes.
But give it to me first. So anyway, I've been hanging out.
I agree.
Yes.
I get a bit pissed off when I'm not the first one to get something.
So I saw literally like a month ago that my friend had it, and basically it's called a channel. So I've created a channel finally. I've got the feature. I can make a channel. And it's basically a group chat that any of your audience can join. And then you just post in there directly to them and it pops up at the top of their DMs every single time you message. And you can do text, you can do photo, you can do video. And I'm just loving it because I've like now got this other direct platform where I can message everyone whatever I want. And no one can reply.
Which is the best part, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's a great feature. And you can make them for like different topics. Like mine is just a whatever topic. But like if we wanted to, we could create our own channel for high scrollers and then me and you are the hosts of it. And then we can post you know, and then we can like promote our podcast.
See, because my thing was like I didn't really want to do a channel myself because like it's just another thing, you know. I feel like
But I'm finding it to be really easy. Like the fact that it's right there in Instagram, in your DMs where I feel like you spend a bit of time anyway. You don't have to like switch apps or whatever. So I'm really loving it.
I can't put up with another thing, you know. I already got
you're
everything
really
going
busy
on at the moment. I'm so busy.
Yeah.
It's so busy. It's crazy. So this is a group chat, but like you're the only one that can message.
Yeah. It's like a one-way conversation.
So it's almost like high scrollers because this is a group chat, but none of our scrollers can write back.
Sorry, everyone.
None of them can have any input. I feel like channels is just me in the shower though, talking to myself. Like, just talking to a void and no one can reply.
It's perfect.
Having arguments with myself in the shower.
And you can use it just to promote yourself.
Yeah, right. So
shamelessly.
It's just another cash grab for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a very big week for music, doll. There was the much anticipated release of a few things. Olivia Rodrigo's new album, Nicki Minaj's new song, and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion have teamed up again to give us what they were calling and what the fans were calling WAP Part 2. That is Wet Ass Pussy Part 2.
Wet Ass Pussy.
The song's called Bongos.
Which, by the way, reminds me of something else when I hear the word bongos. Do you remember that 1-300 bongo thing? And you used to text your name, location.
Yes. And then it would give you all the information about yourself. You'd be like, Brittney, Saunders, Newcastle.
But what I want to know is, were they literally just going onto social media to find out all that information?
See, it's weird though, because like I feel like they had information that I didn't put on social media. Sometimes it got a bit.
And it was like $5 every time.
It's like $5 to do that. Like imagine spending $5 on sending a text these days. Could never be me. But you know I did a sponsored post for Bongo.
I think I did too. But there was other versions as well. Buddy and Bongo.
That's Hugo was another one. Hugo was another one. Yeah. And maybe it was Hugo that was my sponsored post, or maybe it was Bongo, I don't know. And do you know what? I found the invoice for that like a couple like months ago when I was cleaning up all the files on my hard drive. Can I tell you, I think I did a sponsored, it was a dedicated like YouTube video. And can I tell you?
You did a whole YouTube video about
Well, like it was a mention maybe in the YouTube video. I don't know. But the invoice was for $150. Sorry.
Meanwhile, they're getting $5 for a text, and people are sending at least 4 texts.
I know. The return on investment on me would have been through the roof, doll. But anyway, the song's called Bongos. The music video, Cardi B was talking in an interview about how expensive it was to make the video. It cost $2 million.
What is the video?
The video, well, here's the thing. She's like, it cost $2 million. You know, we worked so hard on it. It looks like an ad for Fashion Nova. Like, it's really nothing special, you know? She hyped it up and I was very excited to see it. And it was a bit of a letdown. The song's a bit of a letdown as well. I think it was dangerous to come out and be like, this is what part 2.
That was quite iconic, that song.
I know.
And I feel like in the time that it launched as well, like when I think of that, I think of everyone being in lockdown and doing the dance.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
And if you haven't listened to the song, feel free to go and listen after this podcast and you'll know what I mean. But there are some very raunchy lyrics in this song, which I get, again, with Wet Ass Pussy. There was a lot of, you know. I wonder if Sharon's loving me say the word pussy this episode.
See how many times you can upset Shaz in this whole episode.
Yeah, you'll get a very angry phone call from the warehouse after she listens to this. But here's some of the lyrics from the Bongos song.
By the way, does Bongos stand for anything or?
Bums, I think. Bums?
Okay.
Yeah, like, is that bong or boobs?
I don't know. I thought maybe it was like.
What do you slap? Something. You slap a bum, don't you? No? Are you slapping a bum like bongos?
Slap your titties.
Boom, 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 boom. Or she's going like this, slapping bongos with her titties. No, because she talks about her bum and her front bum. Like, you know, she talks about everything. Listen to some of these lyrics. Eat this ass like a plum, pussy tight like a nun. Pop this pussy pinata, which I actually think that last one's clever. Pop this pussy like a pinata. I like that one. But I just am so disappointed after, you know, the success and the fabulousness and the virality of WAP to be hyped up for a new WAP and to get bongos. Cardi B, what's going on, doll? And I will say, it's not just her. I'm actually just not loving the cycle of music in general at the moment. Like, as I said the other week, I know I've now mentioned it the 3rd time in a week on this podcast, Miley Cyrus, couldn't care less for her new song. Nicki Minaj, couldn't care less for her new song. Olivia Rodrigo, I've just skipped through the new album this morning. First of all, she's called it Guts. Stupid.
Is this just a roast?
It is a roast, yes. But her whole album gives me like teen angst.
Yes.
Like it's very...
I feel like that's her thing in her demographic though.
It's very
young
like,
girls that can really relate to
it's like,
it.
I'm really struggling in high school and my boyfriend broke my heart and I hate my life, but I love you and I wear lipstick. You know, that's literally Olivia Rodrigo song in a nutshell. Sorry.
Copyright those lyrics right there because she'll be using it next week.
Oh, it'll be on her next album. Even, dare I say, Kylie Minogue, who you know I love.
Yeah, what do you know?
I love. I live and breathe
and
Kylie
you know
Minogue.
what? Shaz hates Kylie Minogue.
No.
She does.
What do you mean?
She hates her.
Why?
She thinks she has no talent.
No.
I'm just absolutely exposing Shaz today.
No, Shaz. Well, Shaz is cancelled in my book.
She says, why would you listen to Kylie Minogue when you can listen to Adele?
Because they make totally separate music.
Ask Shaz, she'll tell you.
No, Kylie Minogue has been such a big icon in my life, and but I had an auntie like that as well who was like, "Oh, well, Denny's better anyway."
Yeah, she's just doing music first.
Yeah, but I am just such a Kylie stan at heart. Like she's props my number one, as well as Lady Gaga maybe. But
what do you think of her new song?
Yeah, so Padam Padam. At first, I was like, "What is this trash?"
Yeah,
and then it grew on me.
Yeah.
And then Tension, her second single of her new album, Tension, coming soon.
Is it just like too soon after Padam Padam?
No, it was actually quite a long time because Padam
it?
Padam was so successful that we had to wait ages for another single.
I thought they're really close in release, but maybe I only heard it later.
It's been a few months. But I think with Tension, like she's experimenting, she's going a bit techno, she's going a bit EDM. And I'm just like, this just isn't really the Kylie that I love. I'm loving the music, but to me, it's not Kylie.
Yeah.
You know? And I like just love Kylie's like sound, and this is a whole new sound. Padam Padam was kind of Kylie. Tension, I'm like, what is going on here? It's all robotic and weird, and I don't know, maybe she's just being camp. But the point is, I'm not loving any of really the music that's coming out at the moment. Maybe I'm a bit biased about Kylie, but I've had to go back to listening to Kesha from 2010. And I actually, one of my friends asked me the other day a really interesting question, which I would love to put to you and all of our scrollers. love saying that now. But do you have a no-skip album? An album that there are no skips. You don't skip any song. You could listen to every song all the way through and not have to skip any of it.
I do. And I feel like, if I'm being honest, like, I'm not an album person. Like, I don't get amongst albums. Like, I just learn like the popular songs.
Yeah, right.
But one album that I absolutely love, and I go through a phase where I'll listen to it again like every now and then, but when it came out I couldn't get enough of it. Justin Bieber, Purpose. That is my one. I love all the songs on that album.
Really?
Usually I don't like know all the songs on an album, but that came out when I was living down here in Sydney, and it just reminds me of like.
Purpose. Which album was that?
It's got tons of songs on it. Like, is it too late now to say sorry?
What's the one he did with Halsey on that?
Yeah.
Because
Am I in love with you?
Yes. Or am I in love with the feeling, or whatever it's called? The Feeling.
So
I love that song.
It's that album. That's my one album that I'll
Nice.
listen. I'm going to listen to it in the car on the way home. Now that you
Nice.
mention it.
Well, my friend asked me this question the other day, and I had to think long and hard about it, and I actually settled on The Fame Monster by Lady Gaga. Wow. What a moment. And I will say that it was not always a no-skip album for me. So, of course, she came out with The Fame with like Just Dance and Poker Face on it. Then she came out with The Fame Monster, which was an EP that like attached to The Fame and became one big album of The Fame and The Fame Monster. And she had songs on there like Telephone and Alejandro and Bad Romance. And so I was looking at the track list, and I would say all of them, like Telephone, Teeth, Bad Romance, So Happy I Could Die, Alejandro, Monster, Dance in the Dark, Speechless, no skips at all. And then in the original Fame, which were all the ones with like Paparazzi and Just Dance and whatnot, again, every single song on there, except for two. There was Summer Boy and Disco Heaven. When I was younger, Summer Boy and Disco Heaven were too rogue for me, and I would skip them. But these days,
love it.
I'm not skipping them. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I didn't think my attention span would be able to listen to a whole album and actually enjoy every single thing, because I'm such a negative person.
I feel like as well, like these days, I have a short attention span even with songs now. Like, and I feel like because it's so easy to skip in the car, like I find every song like annoys me. I'm like, next. So we even becoming like desensitized to albums the way we are long version video.
Well, albums have statistically gotten shorter, and songs have also gotten shorter. We no longer now have in some songs a third verse or second verse. Some songs don't even have a second verse. Some don't have a bridge. Some don't have a third chorus.
So we're losing our attention span
because
by the year.
Back in the day, it would be like if you go back and listen to Lady Gaga's album, The Fame, it's actually quite jarring to listen to Just Dance. It's like almost 5 minutes long, and you think you're halfway through the song and you're like, surely it's almost over, but we haven't even got to the bridge yet, or we haven't even got to the anything. So, and now these days, songs can be 1:45.
Yeah, or 2 minutes.
And they're being played on the radio. And I think that's to do with TikTok and our attention span in general. But I think with TikTok, like, that's one thing I thought about Olivia Rodrigo's new album as well. It's like, as I was just flicking through, I was like, sounds like a TikTok song. Sounds like it'd be good. Like, has this been made to go viral on TikTok? And I didn't mind that Bloodsucker one, Vampire. That was camp. I even did a video about that. I liked that one, but yeah, the rest of it couldn't get around it, doll.
So let's talk about one of my favourite apps, which I know is not one of your favourite apps. It's Reddit.
Oh, yes. I'm not a Reddit user. I wouldn't know how to use Reddit if I tried.
It's really easy.
Okay.
And it's good. The only thing that pisses me off in it is how many ads there are in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't even know if you have the option to turn it off. I try to Google it. I would pay to not see them.
Yeah, okay. You'd subscribe to not see the ads.
Because they're annoying. And some of them, it's really clever. In Reddit, it looks like a real Reddit post, but it's actually an ad.
Okay.
And then you're reading it and then you're like, wait, it's got no comments.
Right, okay.
So Reddit is good because it's obviously just real people talking about real stuff, but the most entertaining part of Reddit is the comments. So you always read whatever it is being posted and then you jump to the comments.
Okay.
And then the comments are really funny. Like people on Reddit are hilarious.
And it's like a forum, isn't it?
Yeah, so like someone will leave a comment and then all like the top replies will be underneath it and people go off on tangents. It's really funny. And it's good because you can like go on like the For You page of Reddit and just read popular stuff, or then you can subscribe to topics and then just scroll through that.
Yeah,
And
the-
there's a
the only
topic for literally everything.
Well, the only time I was going to say that I have used Reddit is if I Google a question and the answer is on Reddit.
Yeah. And I
So-
find there is more answers on Reddit as well. Like usually if you
'Cause
want to
you're
know
getting
about something.
People's experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I ask my audience a lot of the time things that I could Google, because people's opinions are actually worth more than a Google answer. Like if there's a problem that I have, I'll jump on my Instagram story and go, have you ever experienced this? What's your,
How do
because
you slice a carrot?
Yeah.
Can anyone please help me?
But honestly, I was struggling with it, honestly.
Did you use a peeler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've never had a peeler, and then randomly a peeler appeared in our drawer, and I don't know how it got there.
Oh.
That's why I've never peeled a carrot. Also, I didn't know you had to peel a carrot.
I feel like
I just
you don't
thought
have
if you
to.
grated it, you just,
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about carrots. What's happening with Reddit?
So I saw a thread on Reddit the other day. This one has gone viral and it was a post about exposing secrets from your industry. So there's like broad topics on Reddit and it's like, what industry are you in and what is the biggest secret of your industry? So then that was the topic and then it was just filled with comments of people working in different industries and exposing their secrets.
Right. What kind of things were on there?
So someone said they work in the makeup industry and that they put little weights in lipsticks to make them feel heavier and more expensive.
Do you have a lipstick on you today? Should we crack it open and have a look?
Let me see.
Depends what brand it is. If it's the YSL lipid gel, don't worry about it. Oh, you got two in there. All right. What do you got? See, MAC for me, I don't think you've got. I can see you've got a MAC one there. And what's the other one?
Charlotte Tilbury.
See, Charlotte, I don't think they put weights in either of those though.
It's quite heavy,
Like,
but some
okay.
are a lot more heavy than this. And this is a mini one, so it doesn't really count.
I might have to give an update. I got a YSL lippy at home that I never use. I used to use it for Sandra back in the day on YouTube. I
Yeah.
haven't used it in years, so
You'll have to check it out.
I'll have to check it out if there's a wait. What else was on there?
A locksmith said that they can get into any lock and door within 30 seconds.
I've heard this one before. Like, it's all just show, like them stuffing around with a toolbox and everything like that. Like, a locksmith knows how to pick your lock and get you into a door in about 30 seconds. But because you pay like $300 or something, whatever it may be, for a
They've gotta
locksmith to
stuff
come out,
around.
they've got to stuff around so it looks like it's worth, so they take 20 minutes to do a 30-second job.
But if it's that easy for them to do, like, why don't more people know how to do that and like go and rob everywhere?
That's so true, actually.
Yeah. And then also another one that was mentioned was someone said, I worked retail at a slightly upscale clothing store chain and I often got asked to go and look in the back for an item if we didn't have a size on the front floor. However, I would 99% of the time check out the back knowing we didn't have that item just to appease the customer and to take a few minutes off from being on the floor.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
I've done that, yeah. I used to do all sorts of things just to waste time when I worked places.
What about when you worked in a call center? Did you used to put people on hold? Is that another thing?
So the call center was different because if you went on pause, you stopped being paid.
What?
So, when I worked at like McDonald's, I'd be like, I'm going to the Toot Love, and I'd go, it'd take me 15 minutes to do a wee because I'm on company time. But with the call center, if I paused my system and went to the toilet, I stopped being paid for that. But I mean, it was always like, I've got to go get something from the freezer, and I just go in there and eat a macaron, and stuff around,
When I used to work at Macca's, I used to take those sippy straws home.
Sippy straws?
Yeah.
Oh, the ones where you just had milk and you'd put
And it had like the chocolate beads in it.
Okay.
I'd always be like, I might take one of those.
Oh, but see, they were too healthy for me.
But it was like chocolate milk.
Yeah, but I think they were designed to be like a healthy chocolate
Yeah.
milk. And I was like, no.
You're like, give me the macaroons.
Literally. Oh, God. I used to get away with so much at McDonald's. I'd be like, boys, you're missing a cheeseburger. And they're like, we made it. And I go, well, I don't have it, boys. I don't have it. So you're going to have to make me a cheeseburger. The car's on the window. It's flexing. Pass the cheeseburger. It goes in my apron. Just heading to the Toot Love. Go to the crew room, eat the cheeseburger. I was so
You're exposing
cheeky.
yourself
And
here.
if anyone who I worked with is listening to this, you can shut your mouth. But what's something from our industry now that's like a secret? Like, do you have any industry secrets from the e-commerce world or like, fashion shoots or anything like that like is a secret that people might not know that you're willing to tell everybody?
Two things that come to mind for me, and for those of you that don't know, I work in women's fashion. First
I think
one.
they know.
Well, just in case someone stumbled across and they don't know. First one being is, how when you're shopping online and you'll have the e-com model and then it will say in the description how tall they are and what size they are wearing. it'll be like, Brittney is this centimeters tall and wears a size blah, blah, blah in this dress.
Mhm.
One thing that I see, not with us, not exposing us here, people complaining that brand sizing seems so off and that they do go off the model and then it never fits the same, even though they might have the same body as the model. A lot of the time when things are ill-fitting on a model, they will just make it work for the sake of the photo. So if something's too big on the model, they'll just clip it in the back. And then when she turns around to the back, they'll just clip it in the front. Or if it's too small for the model, they'll just let it gape open at the back. I think that's a pretty standard thing and a little bit shady, but it is very common. And another thing, which it's not so bad, it's actually a bit of a tactic, which we've never done, but it's a good idea. If you've got stock on your website that isn't moving as fast as you want it to, like if it's a slow seller or it's not as popular as you thought it would be, you can actually just remove it, obviously, like take it all off, take the inventory off your website, and then come up with a bit of a campaign to then in a few weeks or in a month or in 2 months relaunch it and say it's back in stock.
Wow.
Yeah, which I'm sure a lot of brands have done, and I don't think it's a shady thing, but it's something that maybe people fall for. Like they're like, oh my God, it's back, it's sold out, when it never sold out in the first place.
Right.
And then you just hype it up again, like it's back, it was sold out.
As a shopper, I've never thought of that. Like when I've seen back in stock and things like that, like I've never thought that they're just plain silly buggers. Like I was like, oh, it genuinely has sold out
and come back, and you would have no idea. But I mean, from a business standpoint, I think it's very clever to remarket a product if you can't sell it quick enough, because trying to sell your own stock isn't scammy.
Yeah, so true. I mean, I've done that with my merch before. God, running out the door, it's all selling out so fast. There's only a few pieces left. And there are only a few pieces left. There's about 300 of them, but like there's only a few. So yeah, I've done that before. I guess I've got my tricks of the trade as well. And I guess it's like, for me, do I have any secrets of my industry? I think that the only one that comes to mind right now is one that actually is so surprising to me. And it's that influencers can be really good at selling a product that they've never used. And it just flies so far under the radar. Like I saw a sponsored post on my feed the other day from a mum on TikTok who has a daughter who was doing a sponsored post for a skincare brand and was like, I just went down to the shops and I picked up this skincare for my daughter. I'm excited. I've heard great things about it and I can't wait for her to use it and see some results. So she's never used the product. Her daughter's never used the product. But all the comments are like, can't wait to buy this. Can't wait to try this, because people are just...
So she was getting paid for it.
Yeah.
But she hasn't even used it yet.
No.
And she said that she bought it.
Maybe she did buy it because she had the plastic bag from the chemist or wherever she got it from.
Right.
But it does piss me off. But also it's like, well, if you actually decipher some of the language that influencers use, you can actually break this down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really good at breaking down when someone says something. So for example, what I'm trying to say here is if an influencer says something like, I picked this up the other day, you can get this, stop.
Because that doesn't necessarily mean they purchased it.
No, and it doesn't mean they purchased it or got it or anything. They said, I picked this up the other day. Yeah, from their PO box because the brand sent it to them. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like consumers are switched on these days as well.
Yeah, I think if you see ads and stuff like that, just be really switched on and conscious about the language that people are using, because there are so many terms that people use to make it seem like they
bought it themselves organically.
Yeah. Picked up is probably the one that
everyone uses.
Yeah.
Or they hide the sneaky little ad thing in the bottom
Hate
corner
that.
in the tiniest font.
I've always been from the get-go so transparent.
Make it obvious and then your audience will appreciate it more as well.
I remember I was outnumbered on a panel once that I did at maybe VidCon Australia or something like that. There was some sort of panel that I did with other creators, and they asked about, this is back before there were laws and stuff like that about paid partnerships and declaring ads. But I was on a panel and I was with a few other Australian creators, and we were asked the question about paid partnerships and whether we should disclose or not. And I was first to answer, and I was like, absolutely, you should be disclosing that it's an ad. You know, you have a trust with your audience, they trust you. You need to be trustworthy. And I think that hiding that something is an ad or that you're being paid to collaborate with someone, that's shady. I'm like, you should be declaring it and making it really obvious. Every other person on that panel, complete opposite. They said, absolutely not. Hide it. They don't need to know.
But it's
none of their
genuine,
business.
and then audiences will probably be able to tell anyway, especially if you're flogging a discount code. I've found not that I do them anymore, but with partnerships, if you are honest about it and open about it, your audience will probably respect you more for it.
So true.
And be like even excited about the partnership. Like, so cool to see you're working with XYZ.
Yeah. Also, we can get in trouble if you don't declare it.
Yep.
Like, we can get in so much trouble. And in fact, for like an individual, the fine is $100,000. For a company, it's $1 million. I run my social media through a company. Like, if I don't declare, I can get fined $1 million.
It's not worth it.
You know? And
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've got millions just sitting there, like
You do.
going around
Yeah.
and, you know, I'm saving them and peeling carrots at the moment. But like, you know, just in case, because we don't know the state of the world. But I don't want $1 million fine. But I've always been. I just think it's like an honesty thing. Like, you got to declare.
Honesty is the best policy.
Well, Australian sweetheart Robert Irwin has made headlines this week.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Robert Irwin stan?
I'm not, but I have seen on TikTok how much, like, people make thirst traps out of him and everything. And like, how old is he?
I don't know.
Because I remember people saying that's inappropriate because he was like 17 at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's an adult now, so I think it's legal to say he's gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I can't get enough of his. I just don't know what it is about him because I don't really find him attractive.
Well, there you go.
I mean, he's an
19.
attractive person, but it's not like I'm like, oh, like Robert Irwin is so hot. But I think that just like his like persona and his
Demeanor.
personality, yes, and just the way he like picks up a snake just makes me go, oh, yes, get it, you know? I watched this video of him getting a snake out of a Coke vending machine the other day. It was like so riveting.
His fearlessness.
His fearless,
It's
yes, the
attractive.
confidence. Confidence is attractive, you know?
Yep.
I love Robert. Can't stand Bindi. God. No.
Oh, you really don't like Bindi Irwin. You never have. Poor Bindi.
Sorry.
What did she ever do to
I
you?
don't know. She's just always been annoying. Yeah, she's always just been annoying.
She is like really nice and seems like she would never say a bad thing. It's like, come on, Bindi.
I don't know.
Say-
She seems fake to me, but maybe I'm just like a grumpy old man.
You are.
I will say, like, as I've gotten older, like, I don't want to say hate because I don't hate Bindi Irwin. I just can't stand her, you know?
I think you have said to me before that you hate her.
Well, I probably did, but
Yeah.
you know, times change. People
Yeah.
grow. I'm
Yes.
grown now.
This was like 5 years ago,
I
so.
don't hate Bindi Irwin. I just can't stand her. There's a difference.
Okay.
So. But Robert, we love. And Robert's made headlines this week because he tried something for the very first time. He was in the Crikey Cafe, which is at Australia's Zoo. They've called it the Crikey Cafe. And I
Yeah,
think lame. Like, who
it
came up
goes.
with that name?
Yeah.
Come on.
What would you have called it then?
Sanctuary. You know?
Yeah.
Cassowary Cafe. Now that's a good one. Cassowary Cafe. And all the coffees could be named after birds, you know?
Go on. What are the names of the coffees?
Well, you
said
could
it
have the Rooster, which is like a morning coffee. Wake you up, just 2 shots of espresso, nothing else. Little Piccolo. So, you know, or no, Piccolo would be a little tiny bird, like a like I don't know, what's a tiny
minor bird.
No, because I think minor bird, they're foreign. So, you know, you'd have maybe a coffee from the Americano could be a minor bird because it's an introduced species. So,
Right.
you know, this is the options. I'm all about branding, Brittney. I'm all about branding.
So
Anyway,
you're hearing it here first, Crikey Cafe. You need to do a rebrand. Matt's going to come in.
honestly, I'm coming in. We're painting the whole thing red and blue like a cassowary. It's all happening.
Up the nights.
Roosters, please.
Up the nights.
So anyway, Robert Irwin, he's in the cafe and he's making a coffee. And I don't know whether it was the first time he was making a coffee, but it was
Okay.
definitely, he said these words which have shocked the nation.
I've never had a coffee before. Okay, this is my first time ever drinking coffee.
I feel like I didn't start drinking coffee until maybe 5 years ago. Like mid-20s I started
Yeah,
drinking coffee. The
I was
only
21.
memory I have prior to that was when we were teenagers and we would go late night shopping on a Thursday. Remember when that was a
Yeah.
thing? Did you ever go to that?
Yeah.
And you just walk around.
Westfield Tuggerah, shout out. I was in the food court. I was in my
Doing
emo
laps.
clothes. I had the side fringe. I had the jewellery on, the studded belt from JJ's. I had the sunglasses that Red Foo wears that with the lines on them. You know, I was decked to the nines thinking I was the hottest thing ever. And I was a loser. But I was at late
bring
night
back
every
those
Thursday.
times. I
We'd
remember-
catch the bus. It'd take me 45 minutes to catch the bus to late night.
The dedication. I
Yeah.
wonder if kids still do that these days. I remember I used to be so devastated when mum wouldn't let me go. She'd be like, I can't be bothered to drop you there and pick you up at 9 o'clock. Chaz,
Yeah, well, I was catching the bus.
I wasn't allowed.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, when I used to go late night shopping and do laps of the shopping centre and talk to all the boys there that would stand like in the groups, I would go and get a cappuccino. This is when I'm like 14. I would get a cappuccino and then I would say like 5 sugars
Yeah.
so that it was really sweet. And then I'll walk around Garden City, which used to be called Garden City. It's now Katara. Garden City with a cappuccino because I thought it looked really cool. So that's when I started drinking coffee. But yeah, mid-20s.
But did you drink it?
I would sip,
Were you
sip
up all
on it.
night?
No, I'd just sip on it. I probably would never finish the whole thing. But I
So
just
you're
wanted
going
to look
school
cool.
on Friday morning, jittering like with your coffee in your hand.
I just wanted to look cool. So that's my first memory of coffee. But other than that, I didn't start religiously drinking it until I was like working 9 to 5.
Because I didn't drink coffee back then and didn't like it. I would get an Italian soda. Did you ever have one of those? Gorgeous. It was literally just soda water with like syrup in it, like a cordial sort of thing. And it would just make this refreshing like raspberry soda sort of situation. Gorgeous. And then they took it away and I was devastated. But anyway, everyone was getting up in arms about Robert Irwin never trying a coffee. And as we just looked up, he's only 19. So it's actually not that big of a deal.
Nah. But I think it's because it's him.
Yeah. I think it's just, I think because he's so full of energy and so confident and his personality's so large that maybe people thought that he was needing a coffee to start his day or just to handle. I mean, if I was out catching snakes and dingoes all day, like I'd need a bloody coffee. You know what I mean? Love, I'm geriatric over here. I can't get out of bed without a coffee in the morning. My gateway coffee was a mocha. And the weirdest thing happened, 21st birthday. I went out for lunch. I drank coffee, but I hated it. And then on my 21st birthday, we're out for lunch with my mum and my nan and my sister. And as nans always do, they get a coffee after their lunch or maybe a tea.
Which, by the way, I hate that. I hate going out for lunch with a family and then you finish at the RSL and you've been there for 2 hours already. Everyone's finally finished and then the mums and the nans and the aunties have to get a fucking coffee and sit around again for another hour and you're just sitting there like, fuck this.
No.
Surely that's a universal experience.
Yes.
Being like, I want to go. Like, I'm done.
When I'm busy.
Once I'm finished eating, I'm out of there.
You've already finished your conversation. Like, what else is
Yes.
there to talk about? Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Nan's getting a coffee, Mum's getting a coffee, and they say, oh, do you want a coffee? And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll go a mocha, we'll do a mocha. It was my first coffee and I loved it.
Oh.
And I had such a high the entire afternoon off the coffee and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. That the mocha was my gateway coffee, into the world of coffees. And now I'm more of an iced. I still get an iced mocha most of the time. Sometimes, this is so crazy, I'll get an iced long black.
That's what AJ drinks. Tell you what AJ drinks. He takes it to another level. Ice long black, but instead of water, he uses soda water. So it's a sparkling ice long black. And he swears that it's the best invention ever.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Sparkling coffee.
No.
Try it.
No. I won't be. Sorry. There's absolutely no way. Well, I was only telling this story because people thought it was so weird that he hasn't tried coffee before, but he's 19. So I think, we're coming to the verdict here as judge and jury of the entire world that he shouldn't be copping flack for it because I feel like you don't even need these days. I mean, you just had 3 years off due to COVID. You should have all the energy in the world if you're 19 years old. But is there anything that you think would shock people that you've never tried before? Like, obviously, you've tried coffee. Is there something else that's really common that you've never tried or even that you just don't like that's, because some people don't even like coffee?
2 things come to mind. One is on the topic of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I have never tried syrup in coffee. So, people get like a caramel, like shot of caramel, shot of hazelnut, vanilla. I've never tried any of that.
Oh, interesting. You're not living.
But I think the reason why I've never tried it is because I know I will love it and then I'll never be able to have like a normal coffee.
Okay.
So I've never tried that. Another food that I think is pretty common, but I feel like people either love it or hate it, but I've never tried olives.
Right. I think I have tried an olive, but I don't like them. I think they had a pretty pungent taste when I had it. I've never tried sun-dried tomatoes.
Right.
Never tried a sun-dried tomato in my life. But see, the thing is, look at me, doll. Like, I've tried every food under the sun at least once except sun-dried. But even sun-dried tomatoes, I think I have tried.
Like maybe on like a sandwich or a
Yeah.
toasty or something?
No.
I feel like they're commonly hidden in there.
I don't know. Maybe I've never had I think I can 100% say I've never had a sun-dried tomato.
Okay, well, guess what?
What?
Next week,
No, don't do this to me.
I'm bringing in
All
sun-dried
right.
tomatoes and olives and we're going to do a taste test.
Okay, fine.
And coffee with sparkling water.
yuck.
We're doing all 3. I'm going to write a note and I'm going to bring them in.
All right, well, we can do that next week. I think one that will shock people is that I can't stand cookies and cream.
Oh.
Cookies and cream flavoured anything
What
for
about
me
cookie dough?
gives me the ick. No, cookie dough is fine.
But I feel like that's just like cookies and cream
No,
with the dough.
it's not at all. It's cookie dough. It's dough. Cookies and cream is like crushed up Oreo
Yeah.
in stuff, right?
Delicious.
So hate cookies and cream ice cream. Like cookies and cream ice cream actually gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like I actually am getting disgusting shivers thinking about cookies and
What's
cream
your favourite ice cream flavour if you go to like the ice cream shop?
Cake batter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
cake batter ice cream from Cold Rock is like there's no other. But then also bubble gum. I'm a bubble gum girl. And I used to love getting Cold Rock with bubble gum and gummy bears in it. And the gummy bears would go so hard because it's so
that
cold.
is good.
And I would love it. But yeah, now I'm a cake batter with Jaffas, which is
Oh,
so random. Isn't
ew.
it? It's so random.
I would never pick Jaffas ever.
No, it's so good.
Tell you what
Cake
else I
batter
hate.
Jaffas.
Minties. Who the fuck is going, yep, I'm going to buy a bag of minties and eat them willingly? They're those things that are always there that you get off your hands.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Minties just remind me because I think my granddad used to carry minties in his pocket.
Yeah.
So they just remind me of like him pulling out a melted old minty from his pocket and unwrapping it and it's all squishy.
And why in like any setting, like are they always the thing that's like in a bowl? Like anywhere you go, like why minties out of all things?
Well, I think because like it's just it's kind of universal. And it also is like everyone kind of will eat a minty because they have chewing gum or like, you know, you're not going to put, but I have noticed actually now that you mentioned that, Mentos, the little singular Mentos packets.
I am not
They're
eating
everywhere.
a mint flavoured anything for the enjoyment.
Really? To freshen your breath?
Nah.
No.
Gross. I'm not eating mint flavoured freaking Mentos or minties at like a conference.
You're just a rogue. Like you
Like give me like a lolly, like something strawberry flavour. Who is out here eating mint flavoured things for fun and enjoyment?
Do you do mint chocolate?
Yeah, I do love that.
Oh, see,
But that's
I hate
chocolate.
that. I
Nah,
hate that.
I love
You're
it.
just all rogue. I think you're just throwing out opinions for the sake of it now.
I would rather have a eucalyptus drop.
I'm allergic to eucalyptus. I had a eucalyptus lolly in year 8 and it closed up on my throat. And I was just such a like loser and I didn't want to bug anyone that I just sat there silently dying in textiles class, I can still remember sewing a pillow with my hands. My hands were shaking, my throat was closed and I was like going red and crying because I'm allergic to eucalyptus. That's how I found out I was allergic to eucalyptus. But I can like spray eucalyptus in the air because I do love the smell and I can use eucalyptus cleaning products. But like a
you can't eat
eucalyptus
it.
drop, if I have one of those, I'm a goner.
That just reminded me as well in primary school and not wanting to like interrupt the class or be an annoyance. I remember in primary school we were sitting on the carpet watching BTN. Remember Behind the News?
Behind the News,
Like
yeah.
you would all get together, sit
Yeah.
down the TV on the stand
yeah.
and I was at the back. We were watching BTN, which we did every day at 10 a.m. or whatever time it was. And I felt really sick, like I was going to spew. Like I had like a vomiting bug. You know that feeling where you just feel like you're going to be sick?
Yeah.
And also, you know when you're a kid and you are petrified of spewing? Like, you know, I don't want to be sick. And your mum be like, spit it out. Like, you know, Shaz. Shout out to Shaz.
Sharon's got the fucking mixing bowl from the
She
kitchen.
has still got it. My mum still has our spew bucket from when we were kids, the Tupperware one with the handle and like cream.
No.
Anyway, I remember I was really sick. I didn't want to
Sorry.
I didn't
Sorry. I'm still thinking about Shazza going to the kitchen pantry
pull
and
it
getting
out.
the
She's still got it. So I'm going to bring that in
Pyrex
next.
mixing jug
Yep.
with a hammer and saying spewing this.
Get it up. They're going, I don't want to spew. I'm too scared. Anyway, I didn't want to interrupt the class and the teacher and the BTN was on. I was really sick. So I remember I just spewed on the carpet. Why would you want to spew on the carpet when you could just
I'm
run?
lightheaded. I'm going to pass out like a dog. Like a dog.
Just a little click spew on the carpet. Like, why would I not just have run out the room and went to the toilets? Shout out to Jasmine Primary.
Oh my God, stop.
You're going to spew if you keep laughing. You're
Brittney,
gonna-
that is the funniest thing. The picture in my head right now
Yeah.
is honestly just use.
I just spewed on the
back of
carpet.
the class.
Yeah.
can't. I'm going to have to take a 5-minute break because I'm just picturing you. Sorry. We're gonna have to circle back to this. Hang on. Honestly, like I have solid tears like running down my face. I'm just imagining you
Yes.
at the back of the class. Oh, breathe, Matthew, breathe. I'm just picturing you at the back of the class, and you obviously don't want to be a nuisance, so you're also.
I'm so sick. I was so sick. Like I need to go home. That's how sick I was.
I just picture you spewing in the back of the class, but trying to be so silent.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's just off to the side.
all over the floor. Anyway, oh my goodness, that's the picture I've got in my head of you in like a little school uniform, just vomiting in silence up the back.
Respectfully.
Jesus. I remember one time I had spewed in the playground and it was awful. And I went up to the office ladies and said, I just spewed. I think you have to call my mum so I can go home. And the office lady literally said to me, we don't look sick, so get back out there. I'm not calling your mum.
Why are school office ladies so ruthless?
I don't know. You've got maybe people become cranky and then get a job as an office lady. It's like people at the bloody post office.
Yeah, that too.
Whenever you go to the post office, I feel like the biggest burden ever. I never have to go, but every time I go, I've got to psych myself up. It takes me 3 days to actually walk through the door because I'm like, I just don't have the mental capacity today to deal with the post office. Then I go there and I walk in, and I'm talking about a post office where you actually have to go and do something. Like I had to get a passport photo, for example. I'm the biggest burden ever.
I think it's the environment.
All right, then come on over here and look there and all right.
Let me turn the lights off.
My post office actually has just a window where you can pick up parcels,
Right.
which is always manned by like one person. So I just hand the slip and they give me the parcel and I go on my merry way. There's no waiting in line. There's no nothing. So that's really fab. But like actually going into the post office, like.
But I think it's their work environment. You're a subject of your own environment. Post offices are stale. They have no windows, no light. There's no music. It's
So
all grey. The carpet has vomit all over it. It's from me. It's gross.
So true.
Yeah. Another episode done and dusted.
Yeah.
I hope we've done Shaz justice in this one, that she's found it a little bit funnier than the last one. We need to get Shaz on here. We need to call her.
Actually, that's a good idea. Bring her down from Newcastle.
I could even bring her.
Yeah, seeing as she thinks, the podcast needs to be so funny, well, let's get the comedian on herself and
Yep.
she can come on and make everyone laugh. Let's
Yep.
see how that goes.
I'm going to make that happen.
And we can do a debate on why Cardi Minogue is an icon.
She'll get cancelled.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Now, before you go today, we're going to record some TikToks.
We are.
In the Nova studio.
Yeah.
And some Instagram reels.
Yeah.
And so if you see those on social media scrollers, can you interact with them, please?
Please leave us a comment.
And while you're there, leave us a what do we do? 5-star review.
Yep.
Obviously, we
Please.
want 5 stars. Any less than that, tell someone else. Go and do a Reddit thread about it. We don't care.
Yep.
5 stars though. You can rate us. Leave a review. #Genus in the review if you listen this far, so we know who our true scrollers are. See, now that we can call them a name, scrollers.
True scrollers.
They're all on different levels now. We've got to have
Ooh.
scroller of the week. We can have top
Right.
scroller.
Yeah.
Worst scroller.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see who wins that. But anyway.
Shaz. She's the worst scroller.
Sharon, worst scroller of the week. Anyway, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss an episode. We have new episodes every Tuesday, Australian time. So,
I think that's literally it from us.
yeah.
Make sure you follow us everywhere else. For me, search Brittney Saunders.
And for me, search All Right Hey. Anyway, doll, better let you go. I'm off to pop this pussy like a pinata.
Okay, bye.
Bye.